Welcome back. Welcome back. So we're looking at pandas. We said we can create a simple. I'm done without it. I want to finish this. When I finish this, I go to find my 5 questions. So we said we want to create a simple panda series from a dictionary. Now import pandas as PD. We have the calories. This is like okay. Wait. Let's create a simple panda series from a dictionary. So we want to create a panda series from a dictionary. Well, I said a series, just a list of numbers. So we want to create that a series from a dictionary data type. We said we look at different types of data type. We look at the sets, we look at the data frame, or we look at the set and the other types of data classes we have in Python. So now we want to create a very, very simple panda series from the dictionary. So we do the calories equal to this. So this is the dictionary and is stored in this particular object known as calories. Then you give it the name myvar pd dot series because we've already said import pandas as series. So pd dot series and then the calorie into it. Now we make use of the series method because we want to create what a series. Now we bring in our objects, we pass the objects into this particular method. Then we print that and that gives us what we have below here. So that is where we stopped last time. When we run this particular line of code, that gives us this equated a series, day one, day two, day three, and we can see just a simple series using pandas. Let's create a series using data only from day one and day two. Okay, we're going to import pandas as PD. We have the calories for day one, calories day two, day three. But one only create series just for the first 2 days. For the first 2 days, I want to create a series from the first 2 days. So just as we did previously while we were working, in our previous classes, we'll make use of the index equals to select the particular series we are interested in. This will tell Python that we're interested in this particular series. So with the index equal to index equals to day one and day two. Index equals to day one and then day two. So well, the index equals to day one and day two. And take note of the open and close brackets and use the square brackets. And we have the day one and day two in double quotes. Okay, let's quickly see how we can run this in. Okay, it still does. So all what we are just going to do is this. We're going to say my var equals to pd dot calories. We could remember we could give this any name we want to give to it. So since we are talking now, we can say let's say my car pd dot series, and then we have a calories. So what we are going to do, we are just going to pass the index argument into that. Pass the index that we will open and close bracket. And we are interested in just day one and day two. Now take note, I make use of day one because I have day one here. So the development, I make use of the capitals here. You have to change that there. So day one, and the other one is day two. So now at the bottom there we have my car. We are going to print this. So I have to change this as well. So then I run this particular line of code. Run this particular line of code, and we'll see what we're going to get. Now you can see it just Python only just picked the first day and the second day and just created a series with that. Now let's look at data frame. Data sets in Pandas are usually multi-dimensional tables called data frame. That is, the data sets in Python, they are normally in multi-dimensional tables, and they're always in more than one tables. They are called, they have different columns. Sorry, they have different columns, and they are called data frame. So they have different columns. So series is like a column. So a series, it just gives you a list of number in a single line. It could be horizontal, just as we see is horizontal, or it could be vertical, but it's just a single list of numbers. It could be 10, it could be 20, but just a list of numbers. That is an array. So a series is just like a column in a data frame. Now, a data frame data frame is a table that is made up of different columns. So one column is just like a series. So series is like a column. A data frame is the whole table. So the combination of series, when you group more than one series together, they form a table. So a series is a column, is similar to a column, while the combination of the group of series gives us a table. Now create a data frame from two series. Import pandas as PD. When you put pandas as PD data, now this creates a data frame. Remember, we've learned how to create a data frame in our previous class. So we'll create this, and this gives us a data frame. So you use data equals to data is object, and this data frame, we save it with the name of this object known as data. Okay, let's try this in C. Let's see what's just going to give to us. Let's call this let's see my data. Let's call this my data. Okay, equal to, now we want to create a data frame. So recall, while creating a data frame, we'll make use of this in creating a data frame. And so the first is we want to look at the calorie level, or so we can say we want to look at the protein level. Let's call this protein instead of calorie. Okay, protein is So let's say this is 230, 380, and 420. Okay, that gives us that. Now we put a comma here. Then the other one we have, let's add the duration, or we can use the duration of the time limit, or let's say duration. Let's keep this as duration as well. Okay. Now let's say the intake of protein of so let's say is 30 days. Okay. Let's say other one is 42 days, and then next is 53 days. Okay, that gives us a data set. That gives us a data frame. So my want to Python, I want to the print. Let's type Python to print this. Okay, let's type Python, print this, and let's see. Okay, Python, I want you to print this. I'll print it. Let us see what you are going to print. Okay. Now you can see protein 230, 380, and 420, and we can see the duration. Now, because I didn't put it in the series form, it came out in this particular format because we didn't include the series. So if we want it to come out in the form of a column, we can include the series there, and that will give us, it will come out in the form of a column. And let's see how we can use the lock in Panda. As you can see, okay, Pandas use the lock attribute to return one or more specific rules. Okay, we can also use this to return a selected rules in Python. Now we make use of the index. Make use of the index to select specific rule. We can also use the lock attributes to return one or specific rule if we do not want to use the index. Now what we do is print the data frame dot log 0. Data frame dot log 0. Okay, now in other words, we are printing the first position of the data. For instance, I can say print my data. I just say Python, just print my data the 0. Okay. Let's try running this line of code. Okay, attribute dict object as the attribute log. Okay, let's see where we are making an error here. Okay, sorry, I can see where I'm making a mistake. It should be the data frame. This is what we omitted. Okay, then to create the data frame equals a pd dot data frame. We make use of the data frame method and we pd dot data frame. Then we'll print this, print the data frame. Okay, let's rectify the error. Not is data frame equals to pd. Okay, fine. Now it has given us this. Then we want to print then we want to print a particular position of our data frame. I want to print a particular position of our data frame. Okay, we want to print a particular position of our data frame. We still use the same data frame log. Okay, okay. Let's assume we are interested in the second position. Let's say 1. Okay, now let's run this. And you can see protein duration. It prints protein and duration. Now you can see we have that for protein and then the duration. So for protein and duration, it gives us 380 and 42. But I specified this second one. So if I should change this to 0 now, it's going to give me 22, 30, and 30. It's going to run that line of code and give me that position of. So we can use the log function if we don't want to use the index to to we don't want to use the index to create to produce a selected list in a data frame. Okay, now we can also decide we want to print the first and second position. Okay, because we want to print the first and the second position. So we make use of 0, 1 for the first and second position. So let's say we want to create just 0 or 1, and let's run this line of code. Okay, fine. It's giving us error. Where is our error? Log self dot column dot get item error 1. Let's see what error is are we getting. Run. Okay, this where our error is coming out from. Let's run that line of code all over again. Now you can see I make use of the close bracket, double close brackets in order to run this particular line of code. So take note of that, please. Take note of that. So if I'm dealing with a single, make use of that. So so that is that. So I can decide to print one more, and I need a tree, and that will use that. Well, let's use the index. Let's see. Let's use the index here. With the index argument, you can name your own index. When we call the index supposed to use our own name, our own label. That's what index does. It just can help us to use our own label. So at this point, data frame equals to then pd.dataframe. I'm going to say pandas as pd. So pd dot the data frame. And we'll bring in our name of our data frame, which is the name of our data frame here is data. So we'll bring in the name of our data frame here, which is data. Then we'll make your index equals to, we can now label it. So let's give this a try. Index. Pose the index and equal to, we give it index, let's say, start from 1. We don't want it to start from 0. We want it to start from 1. So we just give it those indexes. So okay, no, we want it to start from 1, just starts from 1, and then it's going to start from 1. Now you can see it starts from 1. So your print that the index helps us to add label to our data frame instead of because by default Python will start from 0, but we can override that default by making use of the index method, make use of the index attribute in this particular, or we use it as an argument in this particular function of the data frame.